thing stop spinning. There we go. All right. Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everybody and welcome. We will call to order this regular meeting of the Lawrence County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, August 27th of 2024. Appreciate you all joining us. A couple of housekeeping items. This meeting is being live streamed and recorded. And also, if you have any type of a electronic communication device, cell phone, whatever, if you could please put it on silent or vibrate, we would appreciate your doing that. We always begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. We always have you stand for a moment of silence. I would ask that today we keep in our thoughts the family of Gene DiCaprio. Mr. DiCaprio passed away here earlier this week, and many years ago he served the public as a member of Newcastle City Council. So we'd like to keep his family in our thoughts. So would please have a stand, and Mr. Sonata, could you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing. We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you. Ryan, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sonata?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. We do have a quorum, all three commissioners being present. We always set aside time in the meeting for public comment, two opportunities, one in just a few moments and then one before we adjourn. If you have a public comment, we ask that it be related to county government matters. And if it's a federal matter or a state matter, we would suggest you talk to your federal or state elected officials. Same would be true if it's a local city, borough, or township matter. But if it's a county matter, this is the right place to be. You're welcome to speak both times or just one of the two times, or if you're just here to listen, that's equally fine. And we would ask, as a courtesy to everybody's schedules, if you could keep your comments to about 5 minutes or so. We appreciate that. We always set aside time in our meeting if any of our elected row officers have anything to bring up or discuss. They're not obligated to be at these meetings, but sometimes they do have some matter of business to discuss. But today I don't see any of our row officers present. So that does take us to public comment. If you have a public comment, we'll call on you. And if you could just state your name for the record and make your comment, we're here to listen. Hearing none. Okay, thank you. Does everybody have an agenda? Okay. And Debbie, I'll be giving you my packet when we're done. The documents we're going to be referring to are all available to anybody who wishes to see them. Today, under fiscal and contractual, I'm actually going to stop right there, and I probably need to start doing this with greater frequency. I don't think it's fair, perhaps, to ramble on so long without giving my two colleagues a chance maybe for any opening statements they might have. So, Chris, anything before we move forward?
Not at this time, Chairman.
Thank you. Mr. Kennedy?
I'm good.
Okay, thank you. I know later in the meeting we have commissioner reports, but I think right at the outset we should give you that opportunity. Under fiscal and contractual, we did receive a repository bid, as we've noted in the past. When properties go through both delinquent tax sales and are not bid upon, they then are forwarded to the Tax Claim Bureau's repository. And people have the opportunity to come in and make bids on those particular parcels. Today we have a bid from Scott Township. The parcel number is 30-038200, located on Rock Springs Road in Scott Township. The bidder is Mackenzie Crawford, and the amount of the bid is $500. The Scott Township supervisors accepted the bid on August 5, and the Laurel area school board members approved the bid on August 14. The bids are presented to all three taxing bodies, the municipality, the school districts, and then the county. And in order for the bid to be accepted, all three taxing bodies must agree to accept the bid. So far, two of them have done so. Ryan, do you happen to know what number the resolution number this will be?
242.
Thank you so much. This is resolution 242. It's now appropriate for us to take action on the bid if my colleagues are so willing. Any comments or discussion, Dan or Chris, on the proposal? No. Would either of you care to make a motion to approve resolution 242?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. And if there are no other questions or concerns, by us approving this, coupled with the Scott Township Supervisors and the Laurel School District, the bid would then be formally approved and accepted. May I have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ryan. Next on the agenda, we have, as we do at most of our meetings, a listing of warrant registers, which are also known as check reconciliation registers. These are put out and produced by our county controller's office. It's a listing of all of the checks that have been cut, all of the bills that have been paid. These are dated August 19, 20, 21, and 22. And gentlemen, I'll give you whatever time you need to look them over. And once you've done that, I could take a motion for us to accept these documents if you're so willing.
Joe, I have a question.
Yes,
Maybe you know. Horizon Construction Group Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, did we do work with somebody?
Well, we did it. Jail.
That's you?
Oh,
Or,
That's Quaker
yeah,
Falls.
that's,
Yeah, that's the planning, that's for Quaker Falls.
Quaker Falls,
Quaker Falls.
which was paid for with grant money, is that
Correct.
correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I just never saw it, so.
I'm glad you asked that. I probably would have asked the same thing, so thank you.
It's a big number.
It was grant money.
It is.
Okay, so it was your success in getting that grant, you and your fellow.
And I just stopped there the other day, and walked down a hillside. Got to the bottom and Debbie said, "Are you gonna make it back up?" So I walked the steps.
Good,
And,
good.
Very nice job, I gotta admit.
You know, you did what I need to do. I need to go out and take a look at it.
Yeah, it's,
It's really pretty.
even though I'll complain about it, but it's a very nice job. Because I found swimmers down at the bottom of the falls.
In the past.
It looks nice, so thank you and Amy.
We're referencing Quaker Falls Park, which is a county-owned facility in Mahoning Township, right off of US Route 224, almost at the Ohio line. But you've done a wonderful job out there, you and your coworkers.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, other concerns about the warrant registers?
I have to echo what you said, I need to get out there. I've
Yeah.
been talking about it for 7 months.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't seen it, so looking forward to seeing it. We'll get it done.
Would one of you care to make a motion for us to accept these warrant registers?
I will, I looked at them online. I move that we accept.
I'll say that.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Are there any other questions or concerns? And if not, we can take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ryan. We have the minutes of the August 20 meeting in our packet. Gentlemen, take whatever time you need to look them over, and whenever you've done so, I could entertain a motion for us to approve the minutes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Any questions or concerns about the minutes? Hearing none, we'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is Commissioner reports and comments. Looks like I get to go first today. Just a couple things very briefly. I do want to note that last Friday, the 23rd, my fellow commissioners and I had the opportunity to participate in the Beaver Lawrence Farm Bureau annual farm tour that they sponsor every year. They alternate between counties, and this year it was Beaver County's turn to host. And we met at the Beaver County Conservation District office and facilities, which are actually in Independence Township of Beaver County, at the southernmost end of the county. And we heard from staff members of the Conservation District. It was very informative. State Senator Vogel was in attendance, and State Representative Marla Brown was there. A number of legislators sent some of their staff folks, and three of us. I was somewhat surprised that none of the Beaver commissioners were there, which was perhaps they had another commitment. But the organization does great work. Cliff Wallace is their current board president. Cliff lives out in North Beaver Township, very active in that organization. So thoroughly enjoyable, educational morning. So that's all I have right now. Mr. Kennedy.
Well, I went with you to that, and yes, Cliff does a great job. He's become a good friend. Yesterday, I get to do something different. When I first became commissioner, Chris and I went around and visited every department here, got to know. Craig Youth Services came to me back probably the first month and invited me to tour their facilities. And so I spent yesterday in every building that Craig Youth Services has and talked to their staff and got to meet their staff. The most impressive part I've drove by Walmart School probably a million times. Actually, I went to school there first, second, third grade. Didn't realize what really goes on there. And, Mr. Edwards, who is the principal out there, him and my neighbor, have been good friends all their lives. And we got on a conversation, but you know, you take away from everything, but you really see what goes on. It's the kids and what they do out there for the kids. Having a daughter that's a special needs life skills teacher, I kind of understand that a little bit more from what Abby shows me what she does. And it just surprised me at what we have right there at Walmart. And it's all about the kids and drama and all that. They do a really nice job. I got to sit in a couple classrooms and see what was going on, and I was thoroughly impressed with the operation, with what goes on out there for them special needs kids. So I can say we got in Orange County, we got a nice facility there. So I was pretty happy at the end of the day what I saw, and John and I will discuss it more as I get going here. But that was, besides going to the Farm Bureau, that was my big day yesterday. And I spent most of the day with them before I went to Pittsburgh for the SBC conference or meeting. Chris and I were down for that. But I'm kind of thinking a little bit back because if I go hard, we found out what happens. I spend a couple of days not feeling good. So I'm just kind of mellowing it out and doing what I need to do and get it done. And it's working very well. I'm 100% again today. So I feel great. So I just got to keep doing it. So we'll get there eventually. But we know I can't push.
No, but it needs to be noted, he's here every day. Every day, this gentleman's here at his desk. So I want folks to know that his comeback has been very strong.
I just can't do 100 miles an hour yet. I'm getting close. I'm not there yet.
Well, Dan, thank you. And Chris, I know you went a number of places on our behalf over the weekend, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Chairman. And I mean, you hit on that Farm Bureau, which I think was very helpful to all of us with the issues that's going on there. I had the opportunity on Friday after the Farm Bureau, I went up to Mercer County to represent the county for the veterans ceremony. And Actually, it was a very good ceremony, went over 2 hours and 15 minutes. And Jesse Putman, our Veterans Director, was with me, as well as, you had various officials, Congressman Kelly, Park Wetling, Marla Brown, you had them all. I mean, so I was happy to be able to do that. I was, for 12 years, I was the Veterans Chairman in Harrisburg. And Mr. Alusha, who was the 102-year-old World War II veteran, who was honored, he was our constituent. That's why we were part of this program. I had an opportunity to honor him back in 2006 when my office honored the World War II veterans. And he remembered that, and for 102 years old, this man he still has it. And that's so good to see. And we also honored one from Hermitage, and that gentleman was William Alfonsi. And so there was a lot of our Lawrence County people there. This was put on, and we worked with the Mercer County Commissioner. So I just was pleased to do that, and there was a reception afterwards at the VFW up there, and for 102 years old, he was there, Mr. Alusha, and just that impressed me. But it was a good thing to do, and it was a good ceremony. So, I mean, that was on Friday. But on Saturday, I was happy. I actually went out to the airport, the Newcastle Airport, and I'm happy they brought back the airplane and their car show. I think it's been 5 or 6 years since they've done that. I had a chance to talk to Marty Haskey, and we had great weather over the weekend, but there was a nice crowd out there. So I think that's an event that's going to be coming back to Lawrence County. At least that's the vibes that were there that day. So I threw that out there. That was just a preview of what happened on Sunday in the city of Newcastle. We had Phil Sinceri and his group, the Memories Car Cruise. It was the 15th annual. I know as a county, we were one of the sponsors of that event, which we're happy to do because Phil, they do so much. There had to be, I would estimate, 3,000 to 4,000 people throughout the day down there. And they come from all over, and sitting on the Tourist Promotion Board. That's something we have to continue to market for Lawrence County. Car shows are big here. They generate a lot of money. And the entertainment, 2 big bands came in from Pittsburgh. It was a very nice event. It went on 10 or 12 hours because they come early and it ends at 8 o'clock. But and in between in there, I had a chance to represent the commissioners to a few multiple other events. The American Legion Post 157 down in Elwood City had their annual picnic. So I went on behalf of my colleagues. I went down there for a little bit, and on the way back, I stopped at the church, Slippery Rock Presbyterian Church, which celebrated their 225th anniversary. I know Debbie's had a great story in the paper on that. And I was able to just catch a little bit of they had a little outside activity. We had done a proclamation for them, and that was presented earlier in the day. And they were very pleased with that. So I did that, and I ended up going up to Union. They had a fellowship with many of the ministers from the African American community in Newcastle, and that's an annual event. Pastor Henderson and Holloway he's back in Lawrence County, and a great guy, all of them. So I said, I went back down to the car show and I got a chance to listen to the Jaggers band from Pittsburgh. So it really was a full event in Lawrence County. So these are great things for our community. We had great weather from the airport to the car show. And I look back and I say these things, and when you see the people that are doing all these things in our community, it's so important, whether it's the religious community or those that put these type of things on, and to see so many people participating, that's a good thing for our community. So we got to continue to grow that. So it was a big thing, and I know coming up, Elwood City will be having their big car show at the end of September, and that's a huge event down the lower end of the county. So I've always participated a lot with car shows over the years, and they're big things in this community. A lot that's involved, so we shouldn't overlook that. And I just wanted to bring that all out because that was my weekend. So it was good, and like I said, it's something that I'm very proud to see when these things are happening. So we've had great weather, and let's hope it continues. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much, both of you gentlemen. And I neglected to mention, just another indication of the local economy improving. Thursday of this week, we've been invited, the three of us have been invited to a ribbon cutting ceremony down in Perry Township. There's a facility down along the Slippery Rock Creek known as the Lodge at Water's Edge. And it's an old summer home that was built by a Pittsburgh family back in the 1930s or 40s. Loretta, you were there last summer. Remember how nice that was?
Very nice.
And some local residents have purchased the property and have renovated it. They have a couple of facilities that are not bed and breakfast. What's the word I'm looking for? Thank you. Airbnbs. Thank you. And it's a delightful, delightful setting. It's down along, as I mentioned, down along Slippery Rock Creek. It's close to McConnell's Mill State Park property. The state park has a lot of property down in that corner of the county. But my colleagues have both been there already, and they will have their grand opening this coming Thursday. So we're very much looking forward to that.
One young lady that owns it, she's a great young lady. She made us feel right at home when we went there.
Very much
So
so.
we're looking forward to that one.
And turned out, Loretta, when you got to talking with her, turns out you two had known each other a number of years ago. So,
I'm
reconnected.
very happy that she's doing it. It will be a success, just because of her.
it's a beautiful piece of property.
Yes.
We'll follow up then.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was there up until when she invited us earlier in the year.
Right.
It's in the hidden woods of Perry Township. It has history behind it. And if she didn't tell us, I wouldn't have known it was there. And after seeing it, and what she's done with it, the plan she has, I mean, that's a little gem. I think it's going to really generate some tourism, especially the lower end of the county.
They have a Portersville mailing address, and that sometimes confuses people. People hear Portersville, they think Butler County. But a lot of folks in Perry Township, Slippery Rock Township, do have Portersville mailing addresses. But this location definitely is in Lawrence County. We're happy for them. Well, gentlemen, thank you both. That takes us to new business, and we have an issue in front of us from the planning office. Rebecca, it's always good to have you here. Rebecca Schaefer's one of our staff folks with the planning office. We talked earlier about Quaker Falls Park out in Mahoning Township. What we're looking at here is a resolution to accept a proposal from Countryside Fence Company to undertake some fencing repair work. The proposal is to conclude this work in 30 calendar days, and the dollar amount of the proposal is $4,181.61. Rebecca, what necessitated the need for the repair?
It started off with our new grant work that we're doing. We did have to take down some trees along the gorge. So if you recall, the safety fence that was there stopped at a certain point. And then with the tree removal, it sort of has opened up another good 20 feet that is still on the edge, but you never really seen it because the trees and the brush were all kind of like a nature barrier, so to speak. So when I had Bill go out there, our engineer, I kind of wanted to correlate what we're doing, and have it be time-wise, ordering of the fence and just keeping the safety first and foremost. When he was out there, he did notice, on the existing fence that there was, either a big limb or whatever it didn't completely damage, but it's got a kink or two, So he said, while we're out here, if it goes forward, we might as well fix what's sort of dented and make it look all together. So that's what necessitated it, because it's open there at the gorge, and originally that fence was not there, and then we went along with the safety measures.
It's that fence, but I didn't get the picture on over.
Oh, okay.
But it's a fence at the top of it, right by the water.
Gotcha. Okay, well, we appreciate your staying on top of it. Countryside Fence Company is located in Lawrence County. And let me see if Commissioner Sanada has any questions for Rebecca.
I haven't seen it yet, Rebecca, but is it gonna mesh with the fence that's
Yes,
already
it's
there?
going to be exactly the same,
The exact same
the
thing?
exact
Okay.
same, yeah.
So this is a safety issue.
Yeah, and it's the time to do it while there's construction already going on.
Right.
I figured we can have possibly a grand opening, if the commissioners permit us. And it'll all be done all at once, you know what I mean?
Oh, when do you think it will be done?
Well, possibly next week, I'm gonna do my punch list and inspection.
Okay, I mean, it sounds,
Yeah, so, what's gonna be the holdup possibly is park benches and picnic tables for the pavilion, ordering that. But other than that,
I think
I'll
it's,
let you know how that goes with the inspection.
I think it's a great idea. I think there's a lot of people still in the county don't realize it's out there.
Yes, so
And I
we
think,
would like to maybe blast out to the staff what's coming.
Sure.
So, one of these days, we'll
All
do
right,
that.
we'll look forward to hearing from you once it's finalized. and Make it nice. So,
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Kennedy?
Being there, I see why you want to do that. I mean, it used to be, trees all there, but they took them out to get probably over the hill to
Material.
put the
The
the,
steps.
walkway down over the hill. So I can see exactly why you want to do it, and it is a safety issue. So I have no problem with it. We were probably there a half hour, and there was, probably not half hour time, there was 4 or 5 vehicles pulling in and out, so people are going to look
People are
at
going.
it. So.
Yeah, they are.
Thank you, Dan. And I like your idea about if you want to do a ceremony to
To have it all.
since we've expanded and added everything. I think it's a great idea. Well, gentlemen, we have in front of us proposed resolution 243. Would one of you care to make a motion for its approval?
I move we accept motion 233.
I'll second.
243.
243, I'm sorry.
And Mr. Kennedy offers the second. If there are no other concerns or questions, we'll ask Ryan to call the roll.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Rebecca, thank you so much. You're welcome to stick around, but if you have to head back, we understand.
Thank you, sir.
Take care. The next item on the agenda, proposed resolution 244. We've received a request from the Borough of South Newcastle. Earlier in the year, we had awarded them $22,000 in liquid fuel funding for a project that they are undertaking. It's my understanding that when the bids came in, Borough Council opened them and found that they were far above what they had anticipated. And I believe they're going to re-advertise. And as a result, it may push the project into next year's construction season. And they have written to us asking if we could carry over $22,000 that we had committed earlier this year towards the same project, but with the understanding that it's probably going to be addressed next calendar year. We've done this before. There have been situations where certain circumstances arise that cause delays, and previous boards of commissioners have approved these types of requests. But let me see if Mr. Kennedy has any comments.
Yeah, I have this South Newcastle Borough, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of this year is going to reach the end of townships.
I think it's the end of 2025, I think.
Okay, not this year then.
No.
So that'll be okay.
To my knowledge, it's the end of 25. Now, if anybody knows.
You're right.
Does that sound right?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right. I was thought it was 24, but it is 25.
Anything else, Dan?
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Mr. Sanada?
No, I think it's straightforward. It's been done in the past, and they should be able to rebid it. Hopefully, prices will come down. Find someone who can do it better or cheaper.
Right. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Would one of you care to make a motion for resolution 244?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
244.
Thank you both. If there are no other questions, we can have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ryan. Proposed resolution 245 comes to us from the jail. This involves a grant for the state opioid response program that's handled through the Commission on Crime and Delinquency. Good morning. How are you?
Good, how are you?
We're happy to have you. And would you like to give us a little bit of background on what this resolution entails?
Sure, so it's just asking for an extension of the grant because we're gonna have funds left at the end of the grant. It funds our MAP program, or SWAT's methadone and Vivitrol program at the jail.
And MAT stands for Medication Assisted Treatment, right?
Correct, yes.
If I recall, last week at prison board, this was discussed amongst the prison, because you were there.
Right.
And as was Deputy Warden Spillvogel. So I believe the prison board was a consensus to have this recommendation come before the Board of Commissioners. The reason it does come in front of us over and above the prison board is that based on county code, only the Board of Commissioners can enter into contracts and sign contracts at the county level. So that's why this formality has to come here today. Commissioner Sanada, questions?
Sounds straightforward.
Mr. Kennedy?
No, I have none.
Okay, thank you. By us doing this will allow you to take the next step you need to take. So may I have a motion for proposed resolution 245?
I move we accept the resolution 245.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. If there are no other questions, we can have a roll call.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Ladies, you're welcome to stay, but if you have matters you have to tend to across the street, we understand.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Scott Baldwin is with us from our Mental Health and Developmental Services office. And Scott, we always appreciate your coming to visit us. Looks like you've got a couple of proposed contracts. Gentlemen, can we hear from Scott about both of them and maybe take one motion for both if you're so willing?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Number 246 is La Casa Personal Care Home at 1502 East Washington Street, City of Newcastle. Scott, what can you tell us about this?
These are my last two ID and mental health contracts that I have. So hopefully we'll be back for a little bit. But yeah, this is for fiscal year 24-25. So these contracts will be from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. The cost of personal care home is a personal care home where our members live. We have several there. And there's some of these extra needs that they have. We have to supplement that. Going to appointments, the transportation's a big one to see their doctor, et cetera. So that is $45 a day per rate with a budget of $50,000.
Mr. Sanada, any questions for Mr. Baldwin?
No, pretty straightforward stuff.
Thank you. Mr. Kennedy?
I have none.
Thank you, sir. Number 247 is Mercy Life Center Corporation. Scott, as you tell us about this one thing that's lacking on here is their location. Could you fill us in as to where?
Allegheny County,
Okay,
just north side of Pittsburgh.
okay, thank you.
And this is for fiscal year 24-25. Contract will be from July 1st, 2024 to June 30th, 2025. Mercy Life is a long-term residential facility. This is for one individual that resides there. So it's an acute center that it's costly, but it's needed. So the amount is $172.20 per day with a contract amount of $75,000.
If you're able to recall, what is the split between the Commonwealth's financial commitment to this versus the county's?
Yeah, so I'm sorry for that. But this is all paid out. Human services block, 100%. So these contract amounts that are no cost to the Lawrence County taxpayer. So
No, thank you for noting that. Mr. Kennedy, questions on this proposal?
Nothing else.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sanada? All righty. Gentlemen, Mr. Baldwin has presented proposed resolutions 246 and 247. Would one of you care to make a motion to approve both of them?
I'll make a motion to approve both of them.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. If there are no other concerns, we can have Ryan call the roll.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy? Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Scott, good to see you.
You guys.
You take care. Children and Youth Services, I'm not sure who's doing the speaking today.
Take the first one.
Okay, and like we did with the last two gentlemen, do you want to do these as combined if you're so willing? So number 248 is White Deer Run LLC. This one's based in Torrance, Pennsylvania. What can you tell us about this one?
This is a renewal contract. We are currently in contract with them. They provide a secure sex offender treatment program for us. We have one youth that is there at this time who has been there probably a couple years now and is likely he will be there till he's age 21. We might end up going the route of Act 21 with him, looking for a potential civil commitment. So he is a long-termer there with us, and we would request to be able to obviously keep him where he is. And while they're making progress, there's still a lot of work to be done. So we would request to be able to renew the contract with them. This is for Cove Prep, doing business through White Deer Run. Cove Prep is the name of the facility where he's located.
Thank you for that background information. Mr. Sonata, any questions? Mr. Kennedy? Well, thank you very much. And then number 249 would be through Mr. Bout. This is a contract for professional services with Jane Sheehan. And John, I'll let you give us all the details if you could, please.
Commissioners, good morning. Thank you for your time. Jane is here with us today. This contracted position is currently in our Act 148 state budget, with the state committing 80% of the total expense. Jane is a certified registered nurse practitioner. She's been licensed for 25 years, New Wilmington Township resident. And I'm very excited to bring this to you. This helps children and youth from the standpoint of helping us ensure accurate investigations, promote the well-being of children and youth, monitoring special medical needs, provide care coordination for complex cases, support families to prevent out-of-home placements. And then in terms of what she will do in the contracted role, should you approve it, she'll request, collect, review family medical records, provide health education, support decision-making, consult with physicians, encourage referrals to specialists, refer family to additional community resources, and really help children and youth gain closer links and relationships with area healthcare providers. And to go back, currently this contract would max at $24,960, but again, the county's contribution of that is 20%, which is $4,992. And again, I strongly support this. I think it will do wonderful things for the agency, and in particular, the children that we serve. So I appreciate your time and consideration.
Well, we thank you, John, and Ms. Sheehan, we appreciate your joining us today. If you're from Wilmington Township, you live fairly close to my colleague, Mr. Kennedy.
Yes, I do.
And I actually went to high school with a very, very nice girl from Bessemer. Her name was Suzanne Sheehan.
I believe they were distant relatives of my father-in-law.
I see. Your father-in-law.
Yeah, father-in-law.
Sadly, she passed away a few years ago. She was a delightful, delightful person. And, no, we appreciate the fact that you came to our meeting today. So
I wanted to be here.
we appreciate that.
Thank you.
Let me see if Mr. Sonata has any questions.
No, just praise the league. Welcome.
Thank you.
You know, I think that, John, you made a good case. I mean, it's something that's important for kids. It's something I think that's needed. And if that's going to assist CYS to be able to do their job better, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's all about the kids and making sure they're safe. So your years of experience, you know, just happy to see that you're going to be part of that team. So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Kennedy?
I only have one. Is this a renewal or is this a new contract?
This is new, Commissioner.
But thank you, you're a Lawrence County resident.
Yes.
You can do something for Lawrence County, especially the children of Lawrence County. So thank you.
Well, gentlemen, we've had a conversation about this, as we did with the prior proposed resolution 248. If you're so willing, I could entertain a motion for us to approve both 248 and 249.
We approve both 248 and 249.
I'll second.
Thank you both, gentlemen. If there are no other questions, we could take a roll call.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much, Ryan. We thank you both for being here. As you heard us say to everyone else, you're very welcome to stay. These are not the most exciting meetings you've probably ever been in, but if you do have to move along, we understand.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
Thank you, thank you.
We have a couple of budget transfers to consider this morning. The first is from Mental Health and Developmental Services. They're asking from within their budget, $80,000 transfer from the IB Services base line item into their drug and alcohol line item. Under the Commissioners section of the budget, where the request is for a transfer of $2,561.48 from the Commissioner's contingency into that of office minor equipment for monitors, and I assume that's a computer tower?
It is.
Yeah, okay. And then the final request is from the ARPA, American Rescue Plan contingency line item. We're looking at an $8,500 transfer into that of the broadband line item. We've been in discussion with the Northwest Planning Commission, which now Mr. Sanada serves on that board. They are undertaking a multi-county broadband study, and the Lawrence County's portion of that cost of that study would be $8,500. And this is the first step where we want to see how this plays out, but we were willing to make this first step as far as participation in this study. Gentlemen, do you have any questions on any of these three proposals? No? Okay, thank you. Then could I have a motion to approve all three transfers?
I'll make that.
I'll second. Thank you both, gentlemen. If we have no other discussion, then we can take a roll call.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ryan. Couple of announcements. The board will meet as a Board of Commissioners next Tuesday, 1 week from today, September 3 at 10 o'clock in this room. It's open to the public. Now, next Monday, the 2nd of September, the courthouse will be closed in observance of the Labor Day holiday. There will not be an opioid advisory board meeting. Normally, it would have taken place next Tuesday, the 3rd of September. That's been canceled. As of right now, the Lawrence County Planning Commission is scheduled to meet on Wednesday, September 11 at noon at the New Beaver Borough Municipal Building. I did talk to Amy McKinney earlier today. I believe they have until tomorrow afternoon to accept any matters of business for the Planning Commission to consider. As of this morning, they did not have any. So if they don't receive any proposals or requests, they may cancel the meeting. But for right now, the meeting is on. And we'll know next week. We'll be able to announce next week whether or not the Planning Commission meets. That leads us to public comment. And Debbie, you're our last person standing. So
I have a couple questions.
yes, ma'am.
South Newcastle Borough, what is that project again?
I'm not sure if it states in the resolution or not. I know it involves street paving. I don't know the names of the street or streets. I know your paper reported on it. I think Mr. Irwin may have reported on it. This does not name the streets that they were looking at.
And the other question that, that grand opening, the water's edge.
Yes.
What time is that?
My calendar says 3 o'clock.
Is that rescheduled?
It had, yes,
Okay.
it had been earlier scheduled, right, Dan?
Yeah, we were scheduled there last, probably back in June, I think.
It's been changed a couple of times.
3 o'clock?
Yes.
That's what I'm showing.
We have a reporter that was gonna go, and he was told it was already changed.
Oh.
That was the other day though, so this might be the time.
Well, we've not heard anything to the contrary.
The last time I saw her towards promotion age, she said it was a hard number. I mean, it was first going to happen.
For this
Last-
Thursday at 3.
He may have been notified since then, so I just wanted to know so I can have him check.
Okay, we should probably double check too.
Yeah, I mean, no one has contacted us that it's not happening.
It's possible that she called him and gave him a new time, but he hasn't been in, so I couldn't ask.
Okay.
Have you been there, Debbie?
No, I haven't, but I
did not see
remember meeting her when she worked at Lanigan.
Right, that's right. That's where she got to meet
Yeah.
Commissioner Spielvogel.
So we kind of reconnected out at the Stonecrest thing.
That's right, they catered that morning. Remember that,
We
Dan?
did, yeah, it was
It's a
great.
very good, they have good food.
Well, we'll double check as well, Debbie.
Yeah.
Debbie, anything else?
No, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
Glad to see you back.
Yes.
Thanks.
Yeah, welcome back. Hope you're feeling all right.
Better.
Okay, that's good.
I hold you down, Debbie. I saw a lot of stories in the paper, so.
Well, I did some from home, and, yeah. And I came in a couple days when no one else was there, and
Well, we're glad you're on the upswing.
I had enough energy to write.
There you go.
Well, let me see if my colleagues have any closing comments. Mr. Kennedy, anything, Dan? Mr. Sonata?
I think it was pretty thorough.
Okay, thank you. Ryan or Joe, anything maybe we've forgotten or overlooked? Okay, well, we thank you both for helping us pull this all together. There being no other business to be brought before this board, could I please have an adjournment motion?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you both. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye. Aye, opposed, the same sign. Motion carries. This meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Joe, you'll take care of turning them off the machine?
Yep.
All righty. Debbie, I'll give this to you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, of course.